Hello and welcome to our camp here in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Hello, I'm Gloria Brooks with Nature Glows eScience. So I'm going to be talking about the golden ratio and the Fibonacci number series with you. So how did I first get introduced and interested in the golden ratio and the Fibonacci number series? It actually began with looking at patterns in nature. Everywhere we look outside in nature, just starting right with your own backyard, if you look out there even right now, you will see beautiful order. No matter what kind of neighborhood you're in, even in the city, just look at the natural parts of whatever city or suburb you're in, or if you're in the country, then you have more access to nature, presumably. But just looking at grass, looking at plants, looking at weeds, you'll see a beauty and an order to them. Many times you'll see spirals. You'll see a cracked pattern found in dry dirt and a veined pattern found in leaves and branching in trees. Those are called fractals, which was coined, or that word was made up by Benoit Mandelbrot in the 1970s, who developed fractal geometry. We'll talk about that too in some of my upcoming talks here. So, I was introduced back in the 90s through a Time Life book, and there was an article it was a Time Life hardback book that I had got at the library, showcasing patterns in nature. The spirals found in seashells, spirals found on a snail's shell. And I was just mesmerized by these patterns. Hexagons found in honeycombs, and the chambered nautilus. If you don't know what a chambered nautilus, just you can, Google it. Everyone's answer these days. But check out the cross section of a chambered nautilus and you will see a beautiful spiral pattern. So that spiral pattern is probably one of the most famous for the golden ratio and Fibonacci number series as an illustration. So I looked through this Time Life book and I was just so fascinated, and this was in the mid to late 90s. I had just finished college and I had my teaching degree, and I was just on fire to find out more about these patterns in nature and the golden ratio and Fibonacci number series. So I went on a search, scoured the internet, scoured libraries looking for research about this. There wasn't a whole lot out yet, but in latter years we have an explosion of information on the internet about this very topic. So because there wasn't a whole lot of information available, I ended up just ordering some posters online of like a dandelion seed head, which illustrates a sphere in nature, the seeds that everyone likes to puff into the wind, but those who loathe dandelions don't want them puffed into the wind. So several years later, in 2003, I had a rebirth of interest. We had a wellness teacher come to our church at the time that I was going to, and he talked about nature's patterns and the Fibonacci number series and the golden ratio. And his teaching just rekindled that fire, and off I went to gather all the research I could, and I began teaching it in my classes. So I also went on a 7-year photographic journey, photographing patterns in nature and looking for the Fibonacci numbers found in pine cones and sunflower seed heads. So that's the shortened version of how I got interested in teaching and talking about the golden ratio and the Fibonacci number series.